So now you also have things like the gender pay gap. Well, as I've covered before, the gender pay gap is a common talking point. It's a common misconception of the patriarchy that we all have come to know and hate to fucking hear about because it doesn't exist. You know what's funny is every time I hear about the pay gap, it's a different amount. I've heard 63 cents, 67 cents, 70 cents, 75 cents, 77 cents, 79 cents, 88 cents, to every man's dollar. I want to just touch on this real quickly, and this will probably be the last video I put out for today. The gender pay gap is an aggregate figure of all earnings of full-time workers, both men and women. Okay? Now, when you say something like men earn more, you have to figure this out. Okay. So I believe in that study, full-time was 32 to 35 hours, even 40 hours. According to that study, women work on average 35.6 hours per week, okay? To a man's 41 on average. Now that covers both hourly and salary jobs, and I will explain why. So you have hourly workers, which they're gonna, 35 to 41, at least at my job, is gonna offer me about another $80 a week. Okay? It's gonna offer me about $80 a week. So yeah, that's gonna be more, because I would have worked more hours. But then when people be like, well, what about salary jobs? How that affects salary jobs is this. For the people that stay after the office closes, after the store closes, after whatever, for the people that stay and work more hours, provides better opportunity for advancement. That is why men typically advance more than women. It's at a quicker rate. It's because men typically put in more hours or are more tied to our jobs than what women are. Okay? That's just statistically true. It may be taboo to say it, but it's statistically true. Now, I think that's a pretty good explanation as to why that happens. Now, would I be against a society that paid more because I'm a man? Fucking absolutely. If you have someone that does the same job as me, same amount of hours, same, time in service and all that stuff, they absolutely deserve to make the same amount as me. No questions asked. Would never go against that. But the fact is that study left out plenty of variables and became the perfect talking point for a group of people who don't do research, who don't, listen, and who just put information out there, regardless of how many times it's been debunked, to state it as fact. Now, I don't feel with people like that we can get anywhere. This Mgtow versus feminism discussion has got to start moving. It has to. But putting false information out there, all you're doing is forcing Mgtow to be on the defensive and deflecting all these false accusations, these false allegations against men, and you're forcing us to be defending these. And I don't think we don't know what that does. If you put Mgtow on the defensive, we don't get to move forward. We don't get to move forward because we can't posit anything. We can't go out there and say, okay, well, this is what we need to talk about. Because anybody who's a boisterous Mgtow, me, Sandman, Bearing, a fucking Howard Dare, any of us, which they all have much bigger YouTube channels than I do. The reason why, it makes it so hard for men who do speak out to do anything is because 9 times out of 10 we're spending all of our time defending ourselves. Like I said, I know feminists. I'm friends with a couple of them, and I probably, when I talk about men's rights, I'm spending more time deflecting false, debunked, bad arguments than I am positing anything that could actually have true equality, true egalitarianism. But you start to realize after a while, when that happens, is that what these people are fighting for isn't true equality. What feminists want is feminism. They do not want true equality. Because if a feminist wanted true equality, they'd be working on issues where men and women both suffer inequalities. But they're not. As a man in a feminist society, which is what we live in, we don't have a right to talk. We have a right to give them what they want and to shut the fuck up about it. That is why I'm suggesting a more militant approach. Look, I'm tired of debunking these false arguments. Asian Dave and other people that are going to see this video. Asian Dave is the only one that's boisterous about it, so you're the only one I'm going to name. So from on, at this point, you put on notice that my Mgtow videos, my Mgtow content, at this point becomes more offensive. More, hey, listen, I'm going to force you to look at these issues. And less, hey, I'm going to sit here and debunk your fake arguments that have been debunked many times. And that's what I suggested the rest of the Mgtow do. I'm tired of debunking these same arguments, the wage gap and just campus. One of the biggest ones is, 7 out of every 10 women are raped on campus? That has been debunked a bunch of times. I'm tired of the shameful arguments that you put forward to try to make men believe that we're evil. And from this point on, as far as I'm concerned with Mgtow, you guys should start answering us. You guys have had enough time to levy your complaints and your false accusations against us. And I'm suggesting that Mgtow be a little bit more militant now. And now you guys have to answer to what men going our own way have to deal with, have to see, have to live with every fucking day. I had a friend the other day tell me she can't leave the house without being sexually harassed by men. What do you think attitudes like that teach? What do you think statements like that are bred into people that don't really look into them teach people to think about men? It's a fucking lie.